What's good, good folks? Hope everything's well with y'all. I decided tonight not to have any music. I decided not to go through all the hoopla. I decided not to do all that. I decided to just present to you another podcast presentation of Yosef's Two Cents without all of the intro. As always, I'm your man, Yosef X, and I hope you have had a very productive and a very beautiful and a beautiful Sunday, a productive Sunday, and the whole shebang. Please excuse the noise in the background. Those little rugrats are here. Let's see who we got. Good evening to the James family on the YouTube side. Appreciate you. Thanks for joining. Brother Barron, good evening to you. Thanks for joining. Nadia, what's good? Thanks for joining. Y'all come on in. Y'all come on in. And I do apologize for my tardiness. I really do. This is Yosef's Two Cents podcast, episode number 380. Y'all come on in, relax, chill. And the whole shebang. I want to talk tonight about living your best life, or the interpretation of living your best life. Because I'm seeing more and more these brain dead goofies that still talking all this crap about I'm living my best life. I'm living my best life. I got news for you. Keep on living your best life. Because as I said in my status, and I make no apologies for saying it, if you live your best life, it could cost you your health, it can cost you your happiness, and it can also cost you your life. Because people living their best lives, sometimes they practice the most deadliest of practices. I was going to talk about Jada Pinkett Smith as my thesis, but I'm not going to talk about that dimwit. I'm not. Because to me, in all truth and in all sincerity, the fact is simply this. Either Will Smith is orchestrating this whole thing, or Jada Pinkett Smith is orchestrating this whole thing, or they're both orchestrating this whole thing, or Will Smith is just a lost cause. Point blank, period. That's just really that's really the way I see it. And I'm not trying to be funny. I'm not trying to be facetious or anything, but I have to be as honest and legitimate as I possibly can. I'm still trying to send out some notifications. Yeah, I wanted to talk to y'all about living your best life because if I'm not seeing it on social media, guess what? Guess what? I'm hearing it. If I'm not seeing it on social media, I'm hearing it in real life. Talking about living your best life, going out partying, having fun, getting wasted, smoking, getting high, getting drunk until you're incoherent. I mean, come on, man. Yeah, I mean, I was thinking about it, for the last few days, you know what I mean? And my attempts, honestly, is to keep up with current events. And in keeping up with current events, I try my best to keep up with what's going on um with these celebrities. Now, I don't keep up with these celebrities as much as other people do, because honestly, I don't worship these celebrities. They eat, sleep, defecate, urinate, just like we do. The only difference is they're more economically secure than we are. That's the only difference. And people hate their lives so much so until they are living vicariously through all of these celebrities. Yeah, man. And see, that's the thing. They got things all twisted. Living your best life. I'm very leery of people when they say I'm living my best life. That means you living a fast life. And a fast lifestyle that a lot of people are living, you're accelerating your place in the tune a lot faster than you should. I mean, from the first slap and cry, we all start to die. But a lot of y'all, because of your lifestyles, y'all are on an accelerated pace, living your best life. You out here drinking. I've been there, drinking. Y'all abusing drugs. You're abusing alcohol. Going around sleeping with everybody. I can look at some of I can look at some of y'all in your eyes, and I can tell y'all are miserable. Y'all are just y'all are just absolutely are miserable. Especially these modern day people, this contemporary society. Absolute disgraceful. Let me tell y'all something. Especially you females and you kleptogamists, you simps. Man, let me tell y'all something. Now, if it don't apply, then let it fly. But if it applies to you and I step on your toes, just wake up. This is your wake up call. Here's the deal. When somebody says they are living their best life, they are living a fast life that is accelerating their process to an early grave. And see, a lot of people are hurting because of their past choices that they have made. Remember, I said some time ago that people don't necessarily use the scriptures of the Bible as a means to better themselves. Remember, I said that? I also said that instead of looking at it as a means to, hold on a second, you look at the Bible and you take the Bible and you use it as a means to, um, you use the Bible as as a distraction. And when you use it as a distraction, you really aren't trying to be the best version of yourselves for yourselves. Because the fact is, if you were trying to be a better person, you still wouldn't have the same problems that you have. Let me tell you something. I can see you enjoying your retirement and you enjoying your best life because you're enjoying the fruits of your labor. You busted your rear end for a long time to get to where you need to be. And see, we live in a society where people hate the truth about themselves. I've been transparent with y'all so far, so I don't plan on stopping now. So here's the deal. Before I reached the level of maturity that I've reached at this point in my life, I wasn't always this wise. I wasn't always this mature. See, some people interpret living their best life is having one woman on one arm and another woman on another arm, and they have a threesome. They always going to the club, they're always going to parties and all this stuff. But if you look at their eyes, there is something missing in their life. They're missing inner peace. They are missing inner contentment. They are lonely people. That's why they seek out being popular. People seek out being popular because they're lonely. I mean, if you really stop to think about it, that's why people are always on social media, going around here, always doing a live feed, calling themselves flexing. And then the ones that's unintelligent, they are preaching that it's all right to practice being promiscuous. Then they have the nerve and the audacity to try and share with people how they can cheat on the one they're with. So you got to realize when you play with somebody's feelings, you're playing with Russian roulette, both the man and the woman. Feel me? In the last few weeks, I just really decided to really start sharing with you a lot more as to what I know, not in terms of me comparing my ideas with an author of a book and what I've discovered in terms of being book smart. I've decided to start talking to y'all more so as a man instead of a minister, instead of talking to you as a talk show host. I decided that I was going to talk to y'all tonight more so as a melanated man in a weaponized culture, in a weaponized society that has always been against him. Living your best life. I mean, when you're young, you do foolish things. You say foolish things. You do stupid things. But there's a verse in a song written by Shaggy. Life is one big party when you're still young. But who's going to have your back when it's all done? I'm going to let y'all know, man. Now, I haven't been as out there in the world and out there in the streets like most people have because I was raised very, very sheltered. And some of the things that I had to learn, I learned after I left the nest. I learned after my father had passed, and I learned after my mom had moved in with my sister. So my sister and the rest of my nieces and nephews could help take care of mom when she was still with us. For a time, I was abusing alcohol, but I was using that as a mnemonic device. I was using that as a coping mechanism. Mom was sick at the time. I was dealing with some unresolved personal issues that had nothing to do with anybody else. It was things of my past and all this kind of stuff. I was telling a young man the other day, I said, listen, me abusing alcohol at one point, it got so bad that I was drinking. I was drinking my dinner. I was drinking my dinner. And see, that's how alcoholism starts. Alcoholism starts at the time. I was a social drinker. That's how it started off. And then next thing I know, I was using it as a means to help me cope with things and help me to go to sleep. See, there's no shame, right? There's no shame in, you know, reinventing yourself and redeeming yourself and becoming a better person. Ain't no shame in that. Ain't no shame in that. The shame comes is when you still engage in that nonsense, when you still engage in foolery and nonsense, and you still abuse yourself and you still engage in uh, self-destructive proclivities. When you have an appetite to destroy yourself, that is mental illness. And see, for people to say that body counts don't matter to men, yes, it does. Yes, it does. Body counts matter. Body counts matter. Anybody that says that body counts don't matter, they are lying to you. And again, I don't have any notes. I don't have a format. I don't have an outline. I don't have nothing. I'm just going off straight, no chaser, off cuff, off the rip, just like I did when I presented Bible study, or what I now call the New Bethlehem Biblical Institution, aka Bible study, a few days back. Off rip, off cuff, straight, no chaser. And that's true, brother Sam. Mom and daddy will not be around to hold your hands forever. Sure, that's the truth. That's the truth. You're right, brother Baron. When that high is gone, the problem is still there, and it gets worse after the fact. That's right. That's right. And see, here's the thing. It's not a matter of me trying to judge or misjudge anybody. But I've learned after everything that I have gone through in life, and to some degree, I still go through, I have learned that if you're going to get better, you have to confront whatever it is that is your weakness and that is your Achilles heel. I'm not going to be one to just tell you things that you need to hear. I tell you things, that you want to hear. I have to tell you things you need to hear. I'm not one that's going to tell you things that you want to hear. I'm going to tell you things you need to hear because life has taught me to be realistic. Life has taught me to be honest. Life has taught me to be legitimate. And the first person, or the first people rather, I have to learn to be legitimate with is the Most High and myself. And that's the truth. I was listening to a young lady today, maybe about 2 hours before I came on the air. And she was encapsulating just how far gone a lot of these young women are right now. But see, it ain't just the young women that's far gone. It's the middle-aged women. Shoot, you even got some 80-year-old women that's calling themselves looking for a dude now. You got 80-year-old women that's looking for dudes now. I didn't stutter, and I'm not BSing you. It's the truth. You got some of these 80-year-old women trying to live their so-called best lives. Living your best life. How in the world are you going to be able to live your best life if you're abusing yourself? How in the world are you going to live your best life taking antibiotics because you're treating an STI or an STD? And some of these STIs and STDs, they are incurable. You have to take medication for that STD for the rest of your life. How are you going to live your best life and you pregnant? Oh yeah, that's right. You, as long as you can find an abortion clinic, you can have a baby and abort those children every time you get pregnant, just like you pop birth control pills. Because a lot of people think, especially these females, a lot of them think that abortion clinics is better than birth control pills. You know I'm not lying. You know I'm not lying about this. I'm gonna tell y'all something else too. As y'all know, I work in the airport industry. And you know what I'm really beginning to see more and more of every day that I go and step my feet over the threshold of that airport? I'm gonna tell you what I'm beginning to see more and more. I am truly beginning to see more and more single mothers in this entire airport every single day I step over the threshold. Whether I'm working at arrivals or whether my workstation is the gates at departures. That is all I am beginning to see. Single mothers with one child, two children, three children, four children, five children. Now, I'm not saying that all of them are in the same category because I never know their circumstances. Sometimes, whenever I see a single mother, I could be looking at a widow. I don't know. That's why I say, you know, I'm trying my best to work on, misjudging people because I've been severely guilty of this. You know what I'm saying? But more often than not, it's these single mothers who are living their best lives. Got involved with a dude that they knew for a fact didn't have any respect for them, that knew for a fact they wanted nothing to do with them. And yet they still chose and they still decided to lay down with that dude, with that male who did not want to marry them. They only saw them for a good time. It's the truth. It's the truth. And some of these kleptogamists, all kleptogamists. Let me tell you something else. A lot of these simps are a lost cause. A lot of them are simply lost causes. Just simply lost causes. But I'm also say this. I'm also say this. I should have named this random thoughts. Anyway, these kleptogamists out here. See, here's the deal. Before a man's had a so-called red pill experience, all of us, in some shape, form, or fashion, we all put toxic females on this pedestal, and we all at one point put that toxic female before our own needs. But as we went along in life, we soon began to open our eyes to some things. And some of the things that we started to realize is these females are not as special as we thought they were. When a man realizes his value, he starts to see himself differently and he starts to see things differently. He even starts seeing females differently. He moves with more discipline. He moves with more dispatch. He's more careful than the way he used to move. Maybe they are looking for somebody to take care of them. Maybe they are, but maybe they're not. You got to, I'll say again, none of us can really take a lot of people seriously because honestly, people don't take themselves seriously. If you take yourself seriously enough where you treat yourself with dignity and respect, others will follow. Shoot, living your best life to a large degree, a lot of these rappers and a lot of their listeners and their fans, they're listening to these songs, man, that none of them had ever experienced before. And the ones that really did live that life, they were trying to get out of it. They were trying to get out of that gangster life. They were trying to get out of that street life. They were trying to get out of the drug game. You think going to the projects and you walking in a hallway that smells like urine, and then you hearing these men, two, three, four, five men beating up one dude with a baseball bat. You think that's living your best life? Nah. You got people that's living in the hood right now that's still trying to get out the hood, or they wish they could get out the hood. And they would tell you, me, and us, yo, that lifestyle ain't it. A lot of people think that living their best life, that means you can just play with somebody's heart. You can play with just somebody's feelings. Please. Playing Russian roulette with somebody's life when you play with their heart, when you play with their feelings. Life is too damn hard for people to still be acting a fool. And that's why there's a lot of people that are growing to the point where I got to get out of this lifestyle. A lot of people, they became drug dealers because of circumstances. They didn't necessarily want to be drug dealers. They were forced to. And thankfully, a lot of them did get out that game. A lot of them did escape. You know, a lot of them did. Yeah, a lot of them, a lot of them, they just see them as having one night stands. Hey, J. Cole, what's going on, bro? What's good? Thanks for joining. And because they only see them as for only a good time, an unexpected pregnancy, an unwanted pregnancy, you know what I'm saying? That's the end result of it. Let's see. And see, if more people had that mindset, J. Cole, they would be much better off than where they are. He says, I was telling my testimony at church yesterday that I was in the hood, but I decided not to be a product of my environment. That's smart, bro. That's smart. That's good, brother Jay. That's good. And because you didn't do that, look at how the Most High has blessed you. See that right there, J. Cole sharing his testimony with us. That's a real flex. That right there is living your best life. Let me tell y'all a story. And I heard this on another podcast about an hour and a half, 2 hours before I went on the air. There was a young man that had gotten involved with a young woman. And this young woman and this young man, they were engaged to be married. But one day during a cookout, I mean, the relationship was on the verge of, he was serious about it. They were getting married. He had introduced this young lady to all of his family, all of his friends, all of his co-workers, the whole shebang. One day, guess what happened? At a cookout at his family, his homeboys recognized his friend's girl. And so he had to pull his friend to the side. And he told him, look, bro, I got to holler at you for a second because I wouldn't be a good friend to you if I didn't tell you about your girlfriend, your fiance. See, let me tell you something about her, man. We know your girlfriend. So the guy was like, what you mean? You seen her before? You met her before? Where'd you meet her at? He said, nah, homie, you ain't catching my drift. You ain't hearing what I'm saying to you. You ain't feeling me. I know her. And the rest of the gang, we know her, meaning we ran a train on her. We know how she is. She's a 304, bro. And I could not be standing by laughing and talking and grinning in your face and me knowing the history that this chick has. And I can't see you marrying this chick. I can't let you marry this chick. You know what I'm saying? And I hate to tell you this, bro. I really do. But I got to tell you, man, she's not the one for you. Cause we all had our turn with her, bro. She's not wifey material, bro. She's not for you. I can't stand by and let you marry her, bro. I got to tell you the truth. I'm sorry for breaking your heart. I'm sorry for hurting you, but I will much rather tell you the truth and you know the truth than for you to not know and for me to be a hypocrite and tell you and not tell you what the deal is with your girlfriend. So, not long after, he broke up with his fiance. He took the engagement ring back from her. Everything that he gave her, he took it back. He took it right back. He did. He took it back. And see, here's the thing between men and a lot of women today. And this is just reality. The reality is if a man knows something about a female, he gonna tell that man. See, that's a bro code. A bro code is when a man knows something about a woman, if that man is honorable, he's gonna follow that bro code. He's gonna say, look, bro, don't marry her. She ain't for you. And then the killer part about this thing was she tried to lie. She tried to lie to her ex-fiance about her past. When this dude's homeboy, when this dude's homeboy and co-workers and friends looked up and saw this chick at this cookout or wherever it was they were, she shook their hands as if she never met them before. I'm telling y'all, man, that hot girl summer, it didn't turn out good for her. It didn't work out for her in the end. But see, when it comes down to a low life female, that low life female would have kept their mouth shut. See what I'm saying? J. Cole says, even as young teens, we do know right from wrong. The Most High blessed us with that wisdom. Now, if you did wrong, decide to turn your life around. Yeah, that's what a lot of people need to start doing. Yeah, he was a good friend. That is a good friend, and that is a real friend. You're right. Absolutely, absolutely. And see, a lot of people are hurting out here, man. A lot of men and a lot of women are hurting out here. See, let me tell y'all something else too. Whenever a female says that she's living her best life and she don't want to get married and she don't give a what about what all these ninjas think and all this kind of thing. The next time she's saying this kind of ish, look at her eyes. Look at her eyes. Look at her eyes. Because the fact is, when she's talking all that trash, talking about body counts don't matter, I don't want to get married anyway, look at her eyes. They say that the eyes is the gateway to the soul. Think about it. As a matter of fact, not just these young women, right? But pay attention to these dudes. Pay attention to the eyes of some of these kleptogamists too. Being on the side of these loser females. And these loser females and these loser dudes, they are miserable as the days are long. They are. They are miserable as the days are long. They are. Whenever you hear a female talking about she don't want to get married, that's the that's the main one that truly desires to be a housewife. She truly desires not only to be a housewife, but she truly desires to be a mother. She desires to be a wife. She desires to be a mother. She desires all of these things. She desires to have a family. But guess what? Because of her past actions, the chances of her being a wife is slim to none. And that bothers her. That's why she turns to the drugs. That's why she turns to the bottle. That's why, yeah, there is an ignominious pain mentally and emotionally. It's because of that self destructive behavior. Think about it. Think about it. Seriously. Wow. J. Cole says, when the next girlfriend and I broke up, she said she slept with 15 men after me. I was so disgusted. Man, if she says she slept with 15, chances are she probably slept with like maybe 30 or 45. I really believe that. Because anything that a modern day female says, you really can't take at face value. They say one thing, but it needs to be interpreted in another form of fashion. J. Cole says she has as much bodies as her age. You can't take these Western women seriously. No, you can't take women in the West seriously. But I'm going to say this too. Women in all the rest of these countries, they are starting to adapt the psychological apparatus and the mindset of these American women. It's not as acute and it's not as pronounced as it is here in the West, but it's starting to happen more and more. It's starting to happen more and more. one of my homies used to be um he used to be a mentor to the young people at a certain college. And by the age of 19, it was reported she had slept with already 25 men. I think the number was 20 or 25 men. Yep. See, more and more men are wising up to what's been going on and what's been happening. See, and because they are wisening up to what's been going on, that's why more and more men are protesting and they're boycotting marriages and relationships. The Baron says she couldn't use the energy in a positive manner. Once again, keep in mind, brother Barry, we all act our genetics. We all act our genes. Our behavioral patterns is genetic. The way we think, the way we act, that's genetic. And it is because, as you said, as you just said, she couldn't use that energy in a positive manner. How could she? Especially when she is a byproduct of dysgenic breeding. Think about that. She's the byproduct of dysgenic breeding. Real talk. See, people don't realize that spirituality and science goes hand in hand. Think about it. It goes hand in hand. Hey, for those of y'all that's watching, I appreciate it. Thank you very much for watching. This is Yosef 2 Cents. I'm your man, Yosef X, and tonight the title is Living Your Best Life, but I really should have renamed it and just talked about random thoughts because people's mindsets of what living your best life really means is truly distorted. Because engaging in self-destructive activities, that ain't no flex. That's not a flex at all. That means you're failing in life someplace. J. Cole says wedding planners are worried about their jobs. Man, they've been worried about their jobs for a long time. I mean, a long time. Long, long time. Long time. It is 34 minutes past the hour of 8 o'clock. And we are not going to be on that much longer. But there's a few more things that I want to address. And we're going to get on out of here. For those of y'all that are students of the Bible and are students of not only the Bible, but are most importantly believers in the Most High. I want to share something with y'all. On YouTube. See, I look at YouTube not only as a platform to be entertained, but I also look at it as a platform to be educated. And one of the things that I have come to realize is that when a woman is unfaithful to her man, they come up with all kinds of lame ass excuses to avoid accountability. And they try to justify their reasons and will try to blame that man. And they call being unfaithful a mistake. No, botch, it's not a mistake, it's a choice. You chose to be unfreaking faithful. But if a man were to be unfaithful to a woman and break his agreement in that monogamous relationship, it's World War III in this beer. Talking about being sexually liberated. And when a man wants to walk away from this slore, then she's talking about he has a bruised male ego. Botch, shut up. And then you really ain't sorry for what you've done. You sorry that you got caught. That's why, see, this is what they got to realize. See, toxic females are the ones that's giving men all the reason why not to even be bothered with them. And you soggy dudes that will take these women back and forgive them, whatever happens to you afterwards, you deserving of it. Because if you stay with that cheating broad, guess what? She gonna cheat on you again. She's gonna respect you even less if you stay with her. I think this is where cognitive dissonance comes into play. Because a lot of you stupid, soggy, weak, spineless, gutless dudes think that when a woman cheats on you and you stay with them and you forgive her, you're supposed to tolerate disrespect. You are not supposed to tolerate no damn disrespect. You break up with her, you divorce her, and you call it a day. Why in the world would you want to stay with a female loser that was conquered by another dude? Why? But you know what, though? That shows that you don't have any confidence in yourself. And before some of you soft, soggy dudes go off on your Christian philosophy on forgiveness, Apparently, your scripture, you don't read it very well. You don't interpret it very well. Because if my memory serves me correctly, the scripture teaches that when a woman commits adultery, you're supposed to put her away, meaning you're supposed to divorce her. See, that's one thing about Christianity I have a strong dislike for. Christianity teaches you to tolerate disrespect. Christianity teaches you not to own up to your mistakes and your flaws. And these Christian pastors, a lot of these Christian pastors, bruh, they will get strange men, or they will attempt to get strange men. They will talk to strange men and try to tell them to get with these single mothers out here instead of the single mothers getting the fathers involved. No wonder these men are walking away from these churches. The church, by and large, has become an absolute failure. Period. Brother Sam says, I have a lady friend, and she is a marriage counselor. I bet she gets paid well in that career. I wouldn't doubt it, Brother Sam. Real talk. I really wouldn't doubt it, man. I would not at all. I wouldn't doubt it. I wouldn't doubt it. Not one bit. J. Cole says, or they say the man was distant and she has emotional needs, so that's why she cheated. Yeah, well, guess what? In the end, it still bites him in the ass. And the reason why it bites him in the ass is because not only is she divorced, not only does she become a single mother, but she also is stricken with an STI. She's stricken with syphilis. She's stricken um, with an incurable STI or an STD. She was living a good life. She was protected. Now she doesn't have any protection. It's true. And like I said, man, I am not one that just going to tell y'all the things you need to hear, you want to hear. I'm not going to tell you what you want to hear. I'm going to tell you shit you need to hear. Excuse my language. Let me ask y'all a question. Now, in recent weeks, right, I'm starting to see women in their 40s, right, early to mid 40s, sometimes they're late 40s, early 50s, right? And they're now going on these dating sites and they're setting up these dating profiles on these dating apps and all this ish. I'm going to give y'all an option to vote on this. All right, here's the first one. This first chick is 46 years old, right? She's a 46-year-old baby mama, right? Listen good. She's a confirmed 46-year-old baby mama. She's tall and she's chunky. Or here's another one. She's 44 years old, has 3 sons. Her oldest son is 29 years old. She talks about being a goddess, all this divine feminine BS. She's a gold digger, and she can't even pronounce the term femininity. Which one is worse? The first one that I talked about. Oh, and here's more when it comes down to the first one. The first one is not only for a 46-year-old confirmed baby mama who's tall and chunky, but she's very disagreeable and she's rude. I'm laughing at J. Cole's observation. He said you give us the worst choice. Yo, you give us the worst. you give us the worst choices. Yo. Okay. Let's see. Brother Sam says the second one is worse. Okay. Brother Barrett says both. I I know both of them are bad, but to you, Brother Barrett, which one is the worst out of the two? Yeah, both of them are bad. Yes. Oh Lord. J. Cole says both. I'd rather be like Paul if that's the only choice. Oh man. Oh man. So Brother Sam says the second one. Brother Barron says the second one. Okay. Now, what about you, J. Cole? You got to pick one, man. Which one is the worst out of the two? The first one or the second one? Oh my Lord. Which one would I pick? I say the second one is the worst one. The second one is more delusional. For real, for real. The second one is delusional. It's more delusional than the first one. The second one is worse. Because when they start talking about this divine feminine energy and all this goddess nonsense, man, look, I'm gonna tell y'all the same. I'm gonna say it again. I'm gonna tell y'all the same thing that I said the other night. If 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 kleptogamous, if simps, soggy dudes talking about the black woman is God and all this kind of thing, I'm an atheist. I'm telling you, I'm an atheist because I don't need no God that's gonna be bashing me for no reason at all, man. Miss me with that. Oh boy. Brother Barron says the first one, we could work off that baby fat. Not only would you have to work off that baby fat, you would have to G check her about her being rude and her being disrespectful. Being the size of a big fat speed bump on two legs. Yeah, getting rid of the baby fat, y'all can work, but it's the attitudes. Feel me? It's the attitude. But see, these are the very same women that call themselves living their best lives. These are the same ones that talks about living their best life. I'm living my best life. Meanwhile, she crying herself to sleep. She's the only person in that in the bed she sleep in. She want a warm body right next to her, but she ruined that by her attitude. I'm telling y'all, man, living your best life can cost you your health, your happiness, and your life. It can. Because living that fast life, that's not healthy. I'm telling you. But I'm gonna go ahead and get ready to wrap this podcast up. But I want to say this to y'all right quick. Am I saying that you shouldn't enjoy life? No, I'm not saying you shouldn't enjoy life at all. You should. But what I'm arguing is when anybody is talking about living your best life, that means you should be reckless. That's that's a mental illness. For anybody to say living your best life and you going about living your life being all reckless and promiscuous, that's a mental illness. It's the truth. And for all of you females, right? Let me tell y'all something, man. If you truly say you are a daughter of the Most High, if you say that you truly believe in the scripture, you need to start being more obedient to what that word teaches you. You've got to learn to to adapt and recognize your flaws and recognize your faults. Nothing is ever going to go right in your life until you start being obedient to the Most High and start improving on your relationship with Him. And then work on yourself every day. The same can be said for these kleptocracies. Nothing is ever going to go right in your life until you learn to stop being so afraid of these females being angry. Man, damn their anger. To hell with their anger. To hell with their attitudes. And if you know for a fact that a female is without hope, then the best thing for you to do is walk away from them. And you should have walked away from a lot of these hoes a long time ago. Yeah, man. Yes, sir. I agree. She has to change her surroundings. Brother Sam said yes indeed. Yeah, yeah. And see, when you want to live your best life, living your best life means living a clean, living a holy, disciplined, clean lifestyle. But see, once again, you have to make that choice, and you have to make that choice for yourself, because nobody's going to do it for you. You got to do it for yourself. But see, that's too much like doing the right thing. And the same can be said for the men. As long as you are living and breathing right at this moment, you can change for the better. The opportunity to change for the better is always an opportunity. But the question is, do you want to change? But a lot of people don't want to change. So living your best life. Listen, there's like I said, there's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong with wanting to live your best life. You should. But if your best life is being defined as being hard headed, being stubborn, being disrespectful, being reckless, you're gonna die an early death. Living your best life means you're gonna die an early death. You going to the land of the coffin early. Period. You despise instruction. You don't want anybody telling you what you need to do for yourself. I mean, come on. And see, for a lot of y'all, it could or could not be, it could be too late, then it doesn't necessarily have to be. I mean, think about it. It's the truth. You can live your best life all you want. But if it's reckless, you won't be able to live. You won't have a best life to live if you being reckless. Do better. Do better, be better, act better. I failed y'all long enough, man. I gotta go to work in the morning. Got another work week ahead of me. Y'all got a work week too. We all got work weeks. So I'm gonna go ahead and get off the air. And then it's raining outside too. But I hope I said something that will enlighten you and get you all to do better and to be better. Because I hate this. And see, there's, I just hope y'all get better, man. Now, one or two of y'all gonna get better. The younger generation, I think, is gonna get better. Because it's already too late for a lot of these old heads. It's too late for them. Living your best life. Come on, man. Living your best life is fine. But if it's going to cost you your health, that ain't living your best life. You're just sending yourself to an early grave. All right. Thanks for listening to me. Peace and blessings to y'all. Catch y'all on the flip side. Peace and blessings upon you. I'll catch you on the flip side. Y'all have a good night. Yeah, I'm getting sleepy now. I'm repeating myself. Until next time, have a good night. I'm out. Peace.